Well, at a time when public service in some sectors is under attack, public servants locally are being rewarded. Here to tell us about the second annual Public Service Excellence Awards at the University of North Florida is Dr. Georgette Dumont, Associate Professor of Political Science and Public Administration at UNF. Good morning.
Good morning, Ann. Thank you for having me.
It's so nice to have you back, Dr. Dumont. So, your department introduced the inaugural Public Service Awards, Excellence Awards, to recognize people in this role. How did you decide on the winners for this year?
We have an MPA committee that selects who the winners are going to be. So last year it was those involved with the JEA, and this year we looked a little bit more inside to see what our graduates were doing and who out there are just making these wonderful, wonderful examples of what public servants do.
So, these are both graduates of UNF.
Yes.
Okay.
So of the Masters of Public Administration program in UNF.
Specifically, okay,
Yes. So it's
excellent.
one. Jimmy was 2003 and Robert was 2005, or the years are back, vice versa.
We should say, Jimmy is Jimmy Orth,
Yes,
who's the executive director of the Riverkeeper, and Robert is Robert Peak, who is he's the chief
chief
commercial
commercial
officer
officer. So his job is to get more business
at
into the
Jacksport.
port.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. And so, I mean, first of all, what does this award mean to the people that are giving it and to the people who are getting it?
Well, we want to make sure that we are recognizing those who are really going above and beyond for our community. Our recognition celebration is part of a National Public Service Recognition Week,
Mhm.
and that is this week. It's always the first week of May, so across the country, we have organizations are celebrating public service at the federal, state, local, county levels. So we are out there recognizing the work that public servants do day in, day out. Most people don't really understand or don't get to appreciate the amount of work that these people do. You think about government and you think about the people who get elected. Well, the public servants are all those who have to implement all of the programs who are get who they what the people who are elected, what they want to have done. So you need to have people implementing them. And that can be anything from meteorology at the national level and the that the larger pieces there, right down to wastewater treatment in your local community.
Yeah. And I mean, do you think people misunderstand the role of public servants? And as I mentioned, this is a time when certainly civil service has been, um, targeted for a lot of cuts and
Yes.
and in fact, just sort of some negative thoughts and comments.
Yes, and yes, it is misunderstood. So a public servant is politically neutral. So they go in and their job is to be experts in what it is that they do, which is what they're there to serve the public. They implement policies whether they like them or not because that is the policies of the elected officials, and the elected officials represent the voters.
Yeah. And so they're operating without their own agenda. They're operating basically at the directive of whoever is elected. And, there's different levels. I mean, we've been hearing a lot about federal civil service, but this is people who work in your own community, who work for the city
Yes.
or the beaches cities in your case.
Yes, so these are and when we think about public servants, we think about police officers and fire, but we're not thinking about those who are helping to keep your parks clean, who are paving the roads, who are making sure that the water actually flows through the sewer system when you flush the toilet. Those are all public servants, and they are the unsung heroes of what really makes a community work well.
It's interesting that you gave this year's awards to Robert Peak at Jacksport and Jimmy Orth at Riverkeeper because in some cases those two have been kind of on the opposite sides
Yes,
of
they have.
a big issue, which was dredging. And in fact, there've been some litigation even over that. Was that a deliberate decision to kind of recognize these two sides in this very important discussion?
I don't know how deliberate it was, but I did note that I like that it can show that people are doing the best that they can for the community and be on the opposite sides of a similar issue, or the same issue. Uh, I thought it was cute that they're also on opposite sides of the river physically.
That's
So
right, right across from each other. In
yes,
fact, yeah,
but they were
because Jimmy
both.
works at JU, we should say,
Yes,
and Jacksport's right across the river. Yeah.
right, and and they also had classes together when they were in the program, so they overlapped for about a year. So they knew each other already, and they are doing their best to work for the mission of the organizations that they serve.
You also recognize some folks that are not, in the public sphere that are kind of part of the program, the Masters of Arts in International Affairs and Masters of Public Administration. So this is also recognizing additional folks at UNF.
Yeah, so we're recognizing those who are excelling in the field, and then we're also recognizing those who are going into the field. So we awarded our undergraduates political science students with their awards, academic and research and service. The same thing for the Masters of Arts in International Affairs, the MAIA, and then the MPA program, the Masters of Public Administration, as well as the new inductees to Pi Alpha Alpha, which is the National Honor Society for Public Administration and Affairs.
Well, Georgette Dumont, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you catching us up on these awards.
Well, thank you so much for having me.